Ancient Mesopotamia, the land between the rivers Tigris and Euphrates, was a crucible of early civilization. Its diverse cultures, including the Sumerians, Akkadians, Babylonians, and Assyrians, shared a complex religious worldview. Their beliefs profoundly shaped their societies, laws, and daily lives. Religion was not merely a set of rituals, but an intrinsic part of existence. The Mesopotamians believed their world was entirely governed by a vast pantheon of powerful, often capricious deities. These gods dictated everything from the harvest to the fate of empires. The Mesopotamian pantheon was extensive, with thousands of gods and goddesses. However, a few stood out as supreme figures, often forming a divine council. Their roles and prominence could shift across different eras and city-states. Anu, the sky god, was often considered the supreme father of the gods, representing cosmic authority. He was a distant figure, embodying the heavens themselves. His power was immense, though he rarely intervened directly in human affairs. Enlil, the god of wind, air, and storms, held immense power over the earth and its inhabitants. He was responsible for bestowing kingship and decreeing fates. His unpredictable nature reflected the harsh realities of the Mesopotamian environment. Enki, known as Ea by the Akkadians, was the god of fresh water, wisdom, magic, and crafts. He was a benevolent deity, often acting as humanity's benefactor and trickster. Enki was associated with creation and the arts of civilization. Nana, or Sin to the Akkadians, was the moon god, patron of He illuminated the night and was associated with fertility and cattle. His son, Utu or Shamash, was the sun god, embodying justice and truth. Inanna, or Ishtar, was a powerful and multifaceted goddess of love, war, and fertility. Her cult was widespread, reflecting her dual nature as both a life-giver and a fierce warrior. She was a central figure in many myths. With the rise of Babylon, Marduk ascended to become the chief god of the Babylonian pantheon. He was celebrated as the creator of the world and humanity, conquering the primordial chaos monster Tiamat. His epic, the Enuma Elish, solidified his supremacy. Similarly, Ashur became the supreme deity of the Assyrian Empire. He was primarily a war god, embodying the military might and imperial ambitions of Assyria. Ashur was often depicted as a warrior archer, leading the Assyrian armies. Mesopotamian myths generally depicted humanity as created to serve the gods. The gods, weary of laboring for their own sustenance, fashioned humans from clay and divine blood. This creation narrative emphasized humanity's subservient role. Humans were seen as the gods' laborers, responsible for building temples and offering sacrifices. This ensured the gods were fed and appeased, maintaining cosmic order. The purpose of human life was to provide for the divine. The Mesopotamian view of the afterlife was largely bleak and uninviting. The deceased descended to the land of no return, a dusty, dark underworld ruled by the goddess Eresh-Gagal. It was a place of shadows and silence. Souls were believed to exist as shadowy figures subsisting on dust and clay. There was no concept of a heavenly reward for the righteous or eternal torment for the wicked. All souls, regardless of their earthly deeds, faced the same grim fate. Offerings and libations from the living were crucial for the deceased to avoid suffering. Neglecting these rituals could lead to the dead haunting the living. This belief underscored the importance of family duty and remembrance. While sharing a common religious framework, specific beliefs and pantheons varied significantly across Mesopotamian cultures. Sumerian religion laid the foundational polytheistic structure. Their city-states each had a patron deity, like Enlil for Nippur or Nana for The Akkadians, Semitic conquerors of Sumer, adopted and adapted the Sumerian pantheon. They often renamed deities, such as Enki becoming Ea and Inanna becoming Ishtar. This syncretism blended Sumerian and Semitic traditions. Babylonian religion saw the elevation of Marduk to supreme status, reflecting Babylon's political dominance. The Enuma Elish epic legitimized his rule over the other gods. This marked a shift towards a more centralized divine hierarchy. Assyrian beliefs centered on Ashur, their national god, who was often depicted as a fierce warrior. While other gods were revered, Ashur's prominence underscored the Assyrian Empire's militaristic nature. Their religion was deeply intertwined with imperial expansion. Other tribal beliefs, like those of the Amorites or Kassites, also introduced their own deities or integrated into the existing pantheon. This constant cultural exchange led to a dynamic and evolving religious landscape. Despite these differences, the core concept of gods governing the cosmos remained. Fundamentally, Mesopotamian religion was less about rigid doctrine and more about maintaining divine order. Where humans served the gods, cities honored their patrons, and cosmic balance depended on ritual, reverence, and the will of the divine.